Bitcoin is going nuclear, and on-chain metrics for Ethereum are looking exceptionally bullish. I'm going to tell you all about this. Look at the Bitcoin and Ethereum charts and take a look at all the news driving the markets today. You don't want to miss this one. Let's go. What is up, everybody? I'm Scott Melker, also known as the Wolf of All Streets. Before we get started, please subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and hit that like button, that thumbs up right down below. You can tap it, you can pound it, you can smash it, you can do whatever you want with that like button. Just go ahead and hit it. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to take a look at the Bitcoin and Ethereum charts, and then all of the news. When I said Bitcoin was going nuclear, I was talking about nuclear power, not about price nuking. Price continues to trade sideways. As you know, very little is happening. In the famous words of Snoop Dogg, maybe sometimes it's better to just be rolling down the street, smoking endo, sipping on gin and juice, laid back with my mind on my money and my money on my mind. Right now, we are laid back, and you should have your mind on your money for the long term and have your money, of course, on your mind. Now, we're going to dig into the Bitcoin chart right here, the daily. As you can see, I'm looking at the Bollinger Band like we pulled up yesterday. Now, you can see that the bands are the tightest that they have basically been in the last year. We've had huge volatility and moves when we've seen this before. December up, April down. Well, now we are bouncing right off the lower bounds of these bands right here. You can see that we have a potential hammer candle on the daily chart for Bitcoin, but we have almost a half a day left still as I'm recording this, so we can't judge that yet. But either way, it's been a long time since we've traveled to the top of the bands. That was around June 15th, 21. It would be really nice for that to happen again, and that would be a move to around 36K, which we all know is the center of the range that Bitcoin's been in for about 8 weeks now, and effectively the range top between 30 and 36K, where we've been trading now for quite a while. I cannot look at this indicator without thinking about Juicy J. Bands make her dance. Bands make her dance. All these chicks popping, I'm just popping bands. These B bands will make us dance when they eventually break out, because we know that huge volatility and a major move are coming. Now, looking at the daily chart still here, you can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 tests of this ascending blue support, which are currently holding for the 11th time right now. Absolutely astounding to see the wicks below that and all of the closes below. Really cool price action here, but still chopping sideways. As you can see, I mean, this is weeks and weeks and weeks of trading in this very tight range. We do have this very clear descending blue channel, which should eventually break to the upside. That's just how technical analysis works. Don't shoot the messenger. That's what it says on the chart. Diving into the 4-hour chart, you can see, yes, we are still trading sideways. Price broke this tiny little local support right here, but quickly traded back above, and now is at the EQ of this more local descending red channel. This is what I'm watching for now, because statistically this should break to the upside as well, and should give us a target around 36, 37, even slightly above. So that's what I would be watching for. But still, guys, this is just sideways. We're back at the EQ of this channel. Nothing is happening. Every day I seem to go to bed and wake up and Bitcoin price is the same. I woke up this morning and people were panicking that Bitcoin had dumped, and I looked and it was literally the same price as when I went to sleep, but apparently I missed this one candle that went down. Very little doing here for Bitcoin. No reason to be watching or trading the chart to any great degree. We're looking for a break below 30K to get really more bearish, a break above 36K to start having some bullish news, and really a break above 42,000 to start deeply thinking about another bull run. Now, as you can see, one more small thing that I'm watching is a potential bullish divergence on the daily chart. Very small right here, but we would need a definitive elbow up here on RSI. We have a little one right now. We can blow that up a little bit. Right now, this would count if it closed here or above. So we'll be looking for a close of the daily around 32,800 or above to give us this little bull div, higher low on RSI, lower low on price. Let's jump to Ethereum. Not much to see here, but very interesting. You know, we had this trade. I shared it a few times from the range lows to the EQ, closed it here. Well, since it was rejected at the EQ, you could expect the drop. But what do we have here? We have Ethereum against Bitcoin, once again, extremely oversold on the 4-hour, went all the way down to 23 RSI, right at support, and now it's coming out. So we will expect a trip to overbought, which could give this a bit more upside for the moment. Hard to trade it right now, honestly. This is still also chopping sideways, but RSI did hit oversold, should make a trip to overbought. Ethereum USD, almost the same exact chart, interestingly, right? But this time on this chart, We also had that trade from the range lows, but with clear bullish divergence coming out of oversold, and the top was a clear bearish divergence coming out of slightly overbought, maybe tapping it right there. So now we've gone all the way back to oversold. We'll expect a move back to overbought. Easy peasy chicken greasy. Let's move on now to the news. Grayscale Bitcoin Fund advances ETF plans with new partnership. BNY Mellon to provide ETF services for GBTC upon conversion. SEC still voices concerns about Bitcoin ETF despite demand. That's because the SEC are being a bunch of pansies and not giving the people what they want. Give the people what they want. We want an ETF. We want the wall of institutional money to come flooding in from endowments and pensions. But the ETF is probably the key to that happening. What's really interesting is that Grayscale is clearly preparing for an ETF, which means that their trust would basically turn into an ETF. And we know that the trust has been the talk of the town of late. So this is meaningful that Grayscale is making preparations for an ETF, which they obviously think is inevitable. Also, BNY Mellon is the biggest custodian in the world, and we know that they've started to allow custody of Bitcoin and other crypto. So this is just a huge move to see adoption by these banks. And notably, when talking about the SEC dragging their feet, Senator Pat Toomey, who has bought GBTC himself, a United States senator, went on TV yesterday and said that he does not believe the cryptocurrencies are securities or that the SEC even has jurisdiction over them.
It's not at all clear to me that the SEC has a role in regulating cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies are not securities, and the SEC regulates securities. So that's not at all clear to me that follows. And I'll be watching very, very closely to see what the SEC does.
Incredible to hear a United States senator say something like that the SEC should not even be involved in what's going on with cryptocurrencies. We're going to be closely following GBTC and everything that the SEC has to say. The next story, S&P announces new indexes, including one tracking more than 200 cryptos. Now, we know back in May that with Lucca as their partner, the S&P launched a few indexes, a Bitcoin index, an ETH index, and a Bitcoin and ETH index. But now they have expanded with a few more, one of them which tracks 240 coins. 240 coins. How many coins are even relevant? It's unbelievable that this is now on the S&P and that we're seeing something that tracks so many different assets. Very bullish for this space to see legacy investors having indexes like this to track the broader market. Perhaps my favorite story of the day, and maybe my favorite story of all time. Billionaire SBF Sam Bankman-Fried says FTX may one day buy Goldman Sachs and CME. I'm not sure there's anything in the entire world that I would like more than to see Sam Bankman-Fried do a hostile takeover of Goldman Sachs and buy the company. That would be absolutely astounding. But as we know, literally, bankers used to be the rich guys. Then the hedge funds came in and they were the rich guys. Now we have SBF and other billionaires in crypto who are laughing at the hedge fund guys. You have 2 billion, I have 20, dude. Come on, give me a break. One day, the billionaires in this world will be predominantly crypto advocates, and they will be young, and they will do things out of spite, like go buy Goldman Sachs, man. Every day, like Rick Ross, SBF is hustling, man. This guy is absolutely killing it, sponsoring everything in sight. I would not doubt that from his beanbag chair behind his desk, he will put in an order to buy Goldman Sachs in its entirety. Now, buying spree. The top 10 Ethereum wallets now own 20.58% of ETH supply. This is really meaningful. By increasing their holdings by more than 2% in 40 days, the top 10 Ethereum wallets now own about 20.5% of all the assets' overall supply. As new speculators and retail and wallets that have only been around for like a year puke their assets out and panic sell and say that everything is dead, who's buying? The whales. The whales are buying up Ethereum supply. They're doing the same with Bitcoin. We've seen it. All on-chain metrics show that it's new wallets that are selling, old wallets that are accumulating. As you know, you want to be on the side of the whales, not counter trading them. So what does that mean? It means it's probably a good time, even if price is going to drop a bit more, to do what they're doing and buy more Ethereum and Bitcoin. Also, as you can see, ETH sitting on exchanges decreases. We're hitting record lows for the year of Ethereum sitting on exchanges. People are staking for Ethereum 2.0. People are removing their coins after buying them. This is all theoretically bullish news. Don't get shaken out. Don't be an idiot. I'm not saying you can't buy, sell, trade, do whatever you want with Ethereum, but the metrics are very clear that whales are accumulating. Remember when I talked about Bitcoin going nuclear? It's because nuclear-powered Bitcoin mining is coming to Ohio in December. The nuclear and fossil fuel-based power generator Energy Harbor Corp announced Monday that it has partnered with Bitcoin mining hosting provider Standard Power, according to a press release. We saw the mayor of Miami say that they would allow nuclear mining in Miami, trying to woo over Chinese miners. Well, now we're seeing it happen in the bustling metropolis of Coshocton, Ohio. Now, what a lot of people don't realize, nuclear energy, while expensive to set up, is extremely cheap once it's running, and it is clean, C-L-E-A-N, sweet, 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 clean energy. So Elon Musk can STF you about the energy consumption of Bitcoin. Guys, that is all the news today. Everything driving markets. I will be live, as always, today at 2 p.m. EDT, going for my Chartapalooza, charting all the coins that my paid newsletter subscribers request. You can join the newsletter down in the description below. I also really recommend that you check out Femex. Very soon, starting next week, they're going to be giving up to a $1,200 bonus for depositing 1 Bitcoin or more. Really, really astounding stuff here. Tune in at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come hang out with me. But until then, peace.